for her, but it ain't enough for me. See, I don't care if he's young or old. I just want someone I can. Come on, Dani. I want my soul.
What?
She's got muscles. We'll double by before we start the program. Come on, Diana. It's a good song.
I love.
She's still alive?
Yep.
Nice.
God, how old is she?
All right. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the broadcast. KFIT Talk Season 5, Episode 4. That was Diana Ross Muscles. Dani, that's written by Michael Jackson, huh?
Michael Jackson, 1982, baby.
Wow, I was born. That's pretty awesome. Wow.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Awesome,
fuck that shit, boy.
All right, take it easy with the vulgarity. There's children's listening.
Whatever.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to our KFIT Talk podcast and also live across the social media platforms. My name, as I recall, my alias is John Koga. I'm talking to you, coming at you live from New York.
What?
New York, Long Island, New York. Dani K's down there in Westminster, Maryland. And we're, as always, very, very happy and proud and honored to be able to come into your life for 1 hour on a Tuesday afternoon at 2 p.m. with unicorns and rainbows, my ass, and kick some ass, talk some, chew some fat, talking fitness, food, life, and fun with our KFIT Talk podcast. That's over a year now. All right. And we're excited. We're grateful, thankful for it. A lot of crazy shit going on up in New York right now, up in Brooklyn right now. I don't know if you guys heard about it with the shooting and the subway and God, I can't keep up with this shit, man. So I hope everybody's safe. All of my peeps and family in Brooklyn, I haven't heard from anybody. So I don't think they're down in the subways at 8:30 in the morning, but you never know. Got quite a bit of family in Brooklyn, so just hoping they're okay. And it's a crazy freaking world we live in. You guys know that, and hopefully, these little podcasts that you guys listen to and workouts that you do throughout the week take you out of the bullshit reality that sometimes we have to live through and stress through and fight through and cry through and laugh through. It's crazy, man. The state of affairs that the world is in is crazy, but you know what? We're optimists, and we're going to tell you it's going to get better, folks. It has to get better. But guess what? It's going to start with each and every one of us making it better. Don't sit back and expect the world to come by and give you a freaking handout, all right? The refund is gone. The $600 check that the government's giving you is gone. Let's put the big boy, big girl pants on, and let's go take it, all right? The world is out there. It's yours. Let's go take it. And if we can motivate you, where the hell am I going with this podcast? But screw it.
No clue.
Anyway, I want muscles. You want muscles. We all got muscles. And sit back and listen. Have some fun. And put the headphones on and learn something today. All right? Dani, what do you got for us down there in Westminster?
I mean, it's sunny, finally. I'm just so over this, East Coast Maryland,
Bullshit.
Freaking weather, man. The other day, it was 28 degrees in the morning. I understand a little chilly spring stuff, but come on, man. Yeah. Somebody's in control of our weather.
What did you just say?
I said somebody is in control of our weather, and it ain't Mother Nature.
I thought you said, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Joe.
I did say
my
that.
My boy
come
Joe
on,
is
man.
with us, Dani K. My boy
come
Joe
on,
is here.
Man.
What's up, Joe? That's Uncle Joe or Grandpa Joe, whatever you want.
Yeah,
we love Joe. We got to respect our peoples. Anyway, hey, Dani, I see that.
For all of you listening, when he said that, my face went what the fuck? Yeah, so, just do your best what the fuck face, and that was what I had on.
Don't be dissing my boy Joe. Don't be dissing my boy Joe, all right?
He doesn't even know who the hell
just because you walked away, don't be dissing my boy Joe. Dani, that shirt you have on, what does that say?
What does that say? It says SISEL, SISEL, Science, Innovative Success, Energy, and Longevity, baby.
Pushing out on those 44 double Ds of yours, baby.
44 double Ds, AAA flat. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, stop. That's a shredded boobie right there. We love shredded boobies.
It's pecs. That's all I got is hard pecs.
Good job. Well, we love Danny K's hard pecs. I know all you guys love Danny K's hard muscles, as the song says. Listen, she's got a Sizzle shirt on, spelled Sisel. One of the official sponsors for our KFIT Talk broadcast. It's Sizzle is an acronym standing for Science, Innovation, Success, Energy, and Longevity. And I can't wait to get into my Sizzle product testimonial, okay? Which we'll get in on later on the broadcast, okay? So Mr. Skeptic here has a wonderful, amazing testimonial. So you better just sit back and wait till we get to that portion of the broadcast. So,
Okay.
Danny, like you said, the weather, we thought it was changing. It's 28. It's this. The sunroof's open. The heat is up. You don't know what the heck to expect. But like you said, it's coming. It's coming. It's on its way. April showers bring May flowers, right? You know what they say?
Yeah, but what does April Frost bring?
April frost brings. I don't know. I don't know.
I
It
don't
could.
know.
Well, it should bring. It should bring. God bless you. Some motivation to each and every one of you listen to this that do live in the season climates, because this is the time of the year where a little sunshine kind of motivates us to off our
Yes.
ass, get off our ass, and get out there and exercise. So guess what, kids? If you had a layoff, if you had cabin fever and you haven't done anything over the last few months, and it's time to, renew your membership to Danny K's gym, or to get yourself back in the game, we're here to tell you we're excited for you. We're going to back you up. And guess what? Your muscles will thank you for it. But more importantly to me is your mind, is your brain, man. Your brain will thank you for it. Listen, it's been a tough, crazy winter for those of you guys that have cabin fever in the cooler climates. I know you guys down in Florida and California, you guys love the weather, and I
Yeah.
get it. We're a little jelly belly of you guys, but either way, I love the four seasons. But coming out of cabin fever, Danny, you start seeing people come out of the woodworks, and guess what? Your tendons, your ligaments, your muscles are really not prepared. If you think you can just jump back in and start squatting your 600 pounds, or, benching your 315 on the first set, you're highly mistaken. But the good news is a little something called what, Danny? Muscle what?
Muscle memory, baby. Muscle
Ding, ding, ding,
memory.
ding, ding, ding. So let me get
That
into
you
what
don't need ginkgo biloba for.
ginkgo biloba maloba. You're right,
You
but we have
don't
some
need that.
we have some products that'll definitely expedite the process for you. So, this is a topic that many skeptics have said it's bullshit, it's baloney. There's no such thing as muscle memory. But I'm going to give you what I learned in PT school about muscle memory, and it has to do with muscle fibers. All right, there's something called, oh shit, what's it called? Myonuclei. There's something called, if my PTs out there or my scientists out there, I think it's called myonuclei, which is a cell that's within our muscle fibers. Okay, and for years there's been studies on both saying that in those myonuclei that are in your muscle fibers, those cells. Danny, fact check me, make sure I'm right. Nuclei or whatever, myonuclei. If I got that right, good for me, man. I just brought back my retrieval cues of 30 years did me well. So myonuclei are cells that are within our muscle fibers, and for many years, scientists used to say that they would just die off and just lay dormant. Okay, but and the big but is that, got a big but, is that they don't die off. They lie dormant in your body. And when we re-engage with our nutrition, obviously proper nutrition, working out, these bad boys can once again come back to life and will promote all the good things that muscles do. And muscles are there obviously to hold together your skeletal system. But anyway, Dan, did you Google it or no? Was that
Yeah, so it's Myonuclear.
it might be EI, the medical term, but yeah, you could say, yeah, it might be myonuclei, but yeah, you can go with nuclei. Yeah, the nuclei is the individual.
Is
Yes.
that what that is? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, here's the story. Here's the fat on it. The elevator version is that yes, you can come back, and will your muscle remember? We use the term very loosely, so please, all of my scientists and biologists out there, don't hold it against me. All right. The good news is that yes, your body, your muscle will remember. Think of, like, I think somebody gave an analogy one time of, like, if you haven't driven a car in, I don't know, a year, Now, mind you, muscle memory in the sense of muscle, not the mind, because there's no mind, there's no brain in your muscle. You're just relying on that cell. Okay. When you go to drive a car, if you haven't driven a car in over a year or 2 years, there might be a little anxiety because you haven't driven a car, but you remember how to drive a car. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? You remember, and I'm keeping this in layman's analogies. You remember how to drive a car. Okay, so you like I said, might be a little anxiety because you haven't driven a car and whatever. And since I haven't driven one since the Model T, but now I got to drive the
Whatever.
Benz. It's okay.
You
It's a
got
little
you got
different.
you got the convertible Benz, dude,
It's all good. It's all good.
and the
So
Koga hoopty.
listen, it gets me from point A to point B, just like my hoopty gets me. Okay. So listen, getting back to muscle memory for those of you that are just getting back into your fitness regimen. Don't try to overdo it. Don't try to set any records and break any records. Last week we talked about active recovery, last podcast. So if you haven't listened, to go back and listen. There's many steps you need to take to ensure yourself a safe, effective workout when you come back from into your fitness routine. You have to understand this. And a lot of it has to do with water. A lot of it has to do with, fueling the muscle, but your muscles will remember. Now, will you be able to bench that 600? Probably a lot faster than somebody that's never been. I'm saying 600, but will you be able to bench that 315 pounds again? Yes, you probably will be able to. A lot faster than somebody that does not have that muscle memory of doing 315 pounds prior to you coming back. All right. So there are many benefits of utilizing and taking advantage of your muscle memory. And guess what? You're probably going to come back stronger, more motivated. Maybe your body needed some time to heal. You had an injury, you're coming back from something. But once again, make sure you guys take the precautionary measures in doing a nice, slow and steady process and program without trying to throw yourself back into however long that layoff was, right? Danny, what do you got to contribute on this?
Yeah, I mean, so like you said, if you have two people that are identical, let's just say identical, and one worked out for whatever, however many, and then they stopped for a couple of months or whatever, and the other one hasn't ever worked out. The one that has worked out will see the results faster than the one that had
Yeah,
never worked out, right? Because of that muscle memory that we talked about. So your body does remember, and like you said, you definitely, if I used to could bench 315. Well, if you've taken a couple of months off or a year or whatever, don't jump into that. Warm yourself up. It might feel like it's a setback, but really, I mean, it's not a setback because you haven't done it for 6 months or a year or whatever. So, take the time to kind of get the body used to it. You'll get the 315 back faster. It might take 2 weeks. It might take a week. It
right
might
on.
take less
Whatever.
time if you use some sizzle ripped, but
Plug, plug, plug,
so
plug.
whoosh,
Ding, 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 ding,
yeah,
ding, ding,
right
ding,
back
ding,
in there.
ding.
Um, but for that person that has never worked out, it's gonna take them a few months, maybe a whole year to get to 315 bench pressing. It just depends, right?
Right.
So, I mean, and it's also, dependent on, your nutrition and, how you do recover, especially, getting kind of not being in it for a while, and then you feel like, man, you feel kind of deflated, because of not lifting what you used to be able to. But just again, take it easy. Make sure you get the water in, make sure you get the protein in, make sure you get the sizzle ripped in, so that you can get where you want to be fast, effective, efficiently, and healthily and safely, right?
Yeah, and Danny, also know that 9 out of 10 of these battles are lost and won in our head, right or wrong.
Yes,
We talk
yes,
about mindset. So
yep,
prior to getting back into your fitness routine, play through in your mind. Give yourself some nice goals and some things you want to accomplish over time.
yeah,
Let's say the first week you might want to get to X, Y, and Z. Give yourself, and your mind will trust me, it'll follow suit
right.
to whatever genetically
Right.
possible. You're not
You
going to all of a
definitely
sudden.
you definitely don't wanna be hard on yourself, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I mean, understand that, "Wow, I used to be able to, but I'll get there," you know what I mean? Just keep the positivity going,
Yep.
keep that mindset going that if you had it before, you'll get it back, you know what I mean? Like you said about with the car, it's just like riding a bike, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, you fall off the bike,
Yeah.
you haven't ridden a bike in a while, you
Yep.
know how it is, but you might feel a little rusty with it.
Yep.
But the more practice with riding that bike, you'll keep the balance and you'll keep flowing. It's the same thing, setting the goals. That's a good idea too. Each every couple of days, at once a week, like whatever, set your goals out and achieve those goals, but do baby step goals. Don't think, well, in my first week I want to lift 315 again. No, you can't. You got to do baby steps to that ultimate goal of what you're shooting for, and then excel after that.
Yeah, and also keep in mind, let's talk about the safety aspect of it. Like
Yeah.
your tendons and your ligaments are just not prepared for that work overload,
Right.
for that
Yeah.
overload on that muscle, tendon, and ligament. Because of that. Now let's discuss your average person that doesn't care about benching 315. But let's even try to translate it and correlate it to maybe a group fitness class, a Zumba class, a Koga class, a HIIT class. Your tendons, your joints, and your ligaments are not used to these movements that have been stagnant and, for the most part, stale for however long period of time. So
Right.
you have to make sure you guys do the proper stretching, the proper, like I said, rehydration. Set yourself up, as opposed to, don't just wake up one day and go, I'm going back to the gym. I love these people, Dan, that said, I go to the gym for 2 or 3 hours a day. What the fuck? What are you doing there for 2 or 3 hours? Don't, because you're certainly not working out for 2 or 3 hours a day, right, Danny? I mean, am I
Well, I mean,
wrong?
you might be. You
I
might be
don't know.
doing
I
it.
mean, stop.
No, but listen, you might be doing it like an hour of weights, and then a Koga class happens, and I'm gonna go jump in my Koga class, and then after that, a friend comes in and they're walking on the treadmill, so I want to walk on the treadmill. So I mean, it's
Yeah,
possible,
I guess.
but
Yeah, I guess,
a
man.
typical every single day, maybe not so much.
I would think that after a Danny K workout, you're not going into John Koga's freaking workout class. That's my
I mean,
That's
you
my
might,
thought. But
you
it
might,
does make sense. And yes, I have women that take back-to-back classes, and men that work out and then come in to take my class. I get it, but you're not doing that 5 or
right?
6 days a week. You're
Yeah.
just not. And if you are,
And if you do, like, you definitely got to eat the proper nutrition for that, right?
yeah,
You
for
know what I
sure.
mean? Like back when I was, teaching dance class and teaching like step class, and I was working out, I had to, on days that I did dance class, I had like 2-3 hours of dance that I was doing. And I wasn't just the instructor, I was the choreographer, I was teaching it, I was moving it, I was doing it. I was doing it right along with my kids. So I had to eat extra food on those days that I worked out, because if I didn't, I was doing extra, quote unquote, cardio, extra workout, where it
Right.
was depleting into my nutrition, depleting into my muscle. So,
That's right.
I had to feed a little bit more on those specific days. So nutrition is key. So if you are doing, 2-3 hours of workout, because maybe you are an instructor, a Koga instructor with back-to-back classes, you're not one that's taking it, but you're one that's teaching it, unlike John, where he does a punch and a jab and then walks around, yells at you. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't really take the class. So that's how he can sustain 4 or 5 classes back to back, because he doesn't take it.
Bullshit.
Just saying.
Bullshit.
Just saying. How many people that are watching right now or
Zero?
listening that have
All
taken
right,
a John
listen,
Koga class
Danny,
knows that he
Danny,
does jab, jab, kick, jab, jab, kick, and then he walks around. Come on, come on.
Danny,
Uh-huh.
they're gonna agree with you because they love you. They're gonna agree with you. I know all my
Because
Kogis
I'm
out
right.
here that are listening and absolutely love Danny, because Danny is God. Danny is the fitness God, and Danny, whatever Danny says and does, she can't do no wrong. So yeah, there might be some validity to that comment. But here also, folks, all kidding aside, make sure you guys that was pretty good. Make sure you guys don't set yourself back by throwing yourself into it
Yeah.
really tough and fast and hard and intense, and then all of a sudden you get injured. You don't want to do that. So
Right.
really, get back into it. It's a very, very significant and important. And if you've never worked out for the first time in your life and you're listening to this, well, let's get you into a routine, because I'm going to tell you right now, as far as I'm concerned, it's the best medication you can ever give yourself. Okay, it's the best psychological help you can get, as opposed to sitting on a couch with a therapist. I get it, they're great. I'm just being loosey goosey with that, but it is going to be the best stress reliever for you. Okay, motivator. If you like music, shit, you got both. You hit it out of the park twice. You put on a nice playlist, you get into a nice workout, and I'm telling you, you're going to feel better about yourself. And the whole goal with this whole fitness thing, yes, internally speaking, it's to get you guys off the meds. It's supposed to get you off, lower that blood pressure. It's supposed to, hopefully, God willing, add one day onto your life, but it's also supposed to help with your mindset. And we talk about mindset, that word, a lot on these podcasts because everything eventually goes through your mind and your stomach.
Right.
That's it. End of
Yep.
story. All right.
Yep.
But Danny, and it's tough, and and it can be intimidating. Danny, you know that. How many times somebody walked into Danny K Gym and Wellness down there in Westminster that it could now I got to tell you, your facility, I know people throw around the term family
Right.
very loosely, but once somebody walks what I've experienced and the energy that I felt when I walked into Danny K Gym, it is a very, I feel like everybody's supporting each other. I feel like you
Yeah.
feel like you knew like the Troys and the Tonys and the Annas and you feel like you knew them, the Danny K's for longer than that walk through the doors. And that speaks volume as opposed to
Right.
walking into we always say Planet Fitness or a Gold's Gym or one of these other gyms, big corporate gyms in your area where you feel like, oh my God, do I have the right thing on? Am I going to be
Right.
judged for this?
Yeah.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Support your local small business
Yeah.
studio like Danny K's and
I mean,
Koga Fitness Training.
the energy that is there in this gym is, like, it is just, it's positive,
Yep.
it's holistic. I mean,
Yep.
it's crazy, and
Supportive,
I've
supportive,
whatever
accountable.
I vibe it out, and I attract it. I swear to God, like, because of my vibe, my energy, my frequency, I feel like everyone is attracted to my gym. The good frequency, the good vibe, the good positive is attracted to my gym. So, I feel like I
Yeah.
repel the negative, you know what I mean? Like, and intimidation, like, you don't think that you're just the one that's intimidated. I personally was intimidated. When I first walked into, gyms, I was always intimidated. When I first walked into Four Seasons, then when I was at Four Seasons, I was kind of like the fitness guru at Four Seasons, but then I needed to change up. The stuff was going down. I wasn't being treated very well, and I had to leave. But I was so scared to go to Golds. Was just coming into the area, and I was so scared to go to Golds because at Four Seasons I was top dog. I was top trainer. I looked the best. I was blah blah blah. So I go to Golds. What are you thinking? You thinking muscle bound people, trainers that know more than
Yeah.
I do?
Yeah.
Like, I was
Yeah.
so intimidated by that. So I was trying to go to the smaller gyms, and there was one small gym in particular that did not want to hire me because the fitness director that was supposed to be hiring me um, was intimidated by me. She thought I was out to take her job because I looked better than her, or I
Right.
could lift
Right.
heavier, like whatever her like insecurities were. So I'm glad that I didn't get the job because I didn't want to be in that negativity. But to the same point, it forced me to have to go to Golds, where I was fighting going to Golds. I didn't want to go to Golds because I didn't want to be
Yeah.
the bottom, you know what I mean? I didn't want to be like
Yeah.
the freshman with
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
seniors, you know what I
Yeah. Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. For sure.
and so it pushed me out of my comfort zone, right? And I had to go to Golds because this was what I wanted to do, and there was no other gym around that would take me.
Mhm.
And for whatever reason, but I feel like everything happens for a reason, right? The
Mhm.
universe was pushing me to Golds, and so that's why all the other jobs failed, right? So I went to Golds, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so scared. Well, I go in, and I'm like, I
Wait.
do know more. I do know just as much. I do look just as good. I look
Yeah.
better. You know what I mean? Like, I was like,
Yeah. For
okay,
sure.
I'm just jump right on into being the senior. And actually ended up being, the fitness director, the manager of the fitness floor. And I got more, I was, my pay scale was higher, but that goes to show just, everybody is scared or intimidated of something. So don't think just because you look at someone and they look like they have it all together
Doesn't mean
doesn't mean that they don't have insecurities, right? I mean, I'm one of the biggest ones that has a lot of insecurities and fears, and scared to come out of that comfort zone. But I've pushed myself so far and so much every single time that I look at the comfort zone. I don't have a comfort zone. I'm outside. I've always outside the box, but I'm still, like, even over the weekend, there was one little thing that I needed to do, that I needed to say, and my one friend was like, "You're always talking about like the open door, the opportunity. I opened the door for you. You better walk through it." And I was like, "Oh God, I'm
yeah.
gonna walk through it, but I gotta process it. I'm scared. I'm intimidated, but I'm gonna do it." And then I text her back, and I was like, "I did it." Whew, and it was fine. Like, it scared the shit out of me, and it didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen, but
Okay.
I jumped out of the comfort zone, I was scared. I was intimidated. So, I mean, the John Kogas and the Danny Kays are intimidated and scared and have our own insecurities as well. So, just because you see a package doesn't mean,
Yeah.
just because it's wrapped all pretty doesn't mean that inside isn't, some fear and insecurities.
And you know what? That leads right into next topic. But before I go into the next topic, I want to let you guys know we are by no way, no means putting down Gold's Gyms and Planet Fitnesses and all these other gyms. We're just telling you guys the intimidate. And now some people might say, I want to show off my new Lululemons or my, whatever. So, and they prefer that environment, more of that. And that to each his own, man. That's the beautiful thing about life, to each his own. But Danny had mentioned about, if she wouldn't have asked, if she wouldn't have texted you. And our next topic, we discussed this topic back in season 1, but it's really a prevalent topic that could be talked every week if we had to. And that's risk versus reward in life. All right. The old saying, no risk, no reward, no risk, no reward. Do you drag your feet? Are you a tire kicker? Are you indecisive? And I got to tell you, in many aspects of life, I think each and every one of us are in certain areas of our lives. Okay. When risk versus reward has to do with relationships, which I think everybody kind of knew what Danny was talking about. Yes, the fear of being, shot down, or the fear of being let down, or the fear of being rejected. There's a risk versus reward. The risk is, do I go out and never know if I can get this date or let this person know that how I feel toward them? And the reward is, should they receptive to it? And okay, great. Let's see where it goes. Or is there going to be a negative, and result to it where they say, no, I'm not interested, or not now, whatever, however it works. So there's always a risk versus reward, even and Danny had mentioned it earlier in conversation, earlier. I'm sorry, when she was discussing her what was taking place with going on anyway about opening gym when she left Gold's. She had to cross and contemplate, I got to do this for myself. I need to open up my own gym. So even on the business side of your life, risk versus reward can even be more stressful, especially if you don't come from wealthy parents. And if you do, God bless you guys. But if you don't come from wealthy parents, or you don't have that money guy or that money tree in your backyard, and you're scratching together a bunch of coins and nickels and dimes together to put that money into something you feel is your calling in life, it's very scary. It's very stressful, because the risk could be you can go broke, okay? But yet the reward means you can be very successful. And I'm here to tell you that go for it. Effing go for it. All right. Go for it. Because if you live your life with regrets, all these cliches, no regrets, I get it. If you're not going to be able to, there'll be more stress. There'll be more of a knot and pit in your stomach. If you should have yourself, I should have, I could have, I would have, but I didn't. That's going to bother you more than failure. Because
Yep.
as we say, once again, another cliche, failure gives us the tools we need to succeed. So risk versus reward ties into every single aspect of your life.
Yep.
Ties into, should I go back to my gym, to my routine? Should I invest in this? Should I get involved with Sizzle with these guys and start my home-based business, creating health, wealth, and happiness for myself? I know Danny's chomping at the bit right now. Should I speak to that person that I like, that I'm interested in? It's very scary. It's very stressful, but you're going to hear the same answer from Danny and myself. Look at the situation clearly. Little insight, then I got to hand it off to Danny. Look at the situation clearly. Step outside of yourself and ask yourself, what would I do if I wasn't me? Am I making an emotional reaction to this? Am I making an emotional decision to whatever this is that's in front of me, whether it's business, relationship, whether it's actually with some kind of life-changing surgery or something like this, that, there are many different things that can coincide and have to do with risk versus reward. So make sure you guys see the situation as clear as you can. Okay. Think about it. All right. Before you act, you got to go through the 5 steps of decision making, which are actually one of our topics. All right.
Right.
See the situation clearly. Learn. Do your homework on what you're going to be investing in, because it is a risk. Is usually an investment in some aspect of your life, whether it's relationship, whether it's business. All right. And then write down your goals, and then before you act, make that conscious decision. And guys, it's a tough one. They say dragging your feet, kicking the tire. It's normal, but you got to eventually get the frig out of your comfort zone and say, I have to, if you really sincerely, truly love what you want to do or the person you're really interested in, you have to effing go for it. You have to. The risk will far exceed, okay, the reward, excuse me, will far exceed the risk because 90% of the time, it's a risk that once again we lose in our mind. It becomes an emotional risk that is not as detrimental as you're making it. Just freaking go for it, Danny, right? What are you thinking?
The one little what you call it on my post-it that's on my vision board at the house. If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space,
I love it. I love it.
right?
I love it.
So it's so true. Like the bad side is you get a no, you get a reject. Like I always say, my middle name is rejection because that's just. I mean, I'm so used to rejection. It's not even funny. I mean, it's downright sad.
Hey, listen,
But
guys, she's being upfront with you
I
guys
mean,
right
I
now.
mean,
You know,
like
Danny,
totally, totally. I mean, but if you don't ask, you already don't have it,
you don't
right?
get it.
Whatever it is, whether it's the raise, whether it's the date, whether it's the business opportunity, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't ask, you already don't have it. So what's the worst that's going to happen? If you don't get the raise, if you don't get the date, you already don't have it, right? So but the best thing that could happen, and that's where we need to stay focused on, is what the best thing could possibly happen, and that is you get the raise, you get the job, you get the house, you get the loan, you get the
Yep.
date. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, so I mean, I just constantly, like I said, I back and forth with a friend of mine. Okay, I'm scared. Like, oh my god, like I open the door, shut the fuck up, do it. Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I just want to vent right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it because there's no other option, right?
Yep.
For me, there's no other option. If it pops in my head and if I'm scared of it, if I fear it, that's where I know I need to be, right? I let my fear guide me, not hide me, right? So a
I
lot of
like that.
times people let their fear hide them, and I am not that person, and I will take 1,000 no's, I will take 1,000 rejections, I will take 1,000s. Well, I can't right now, or whatever. Because but at least I asked. You know what I mean? Like, I asked for the raise. I asked for this. I asked for that. I jumped out and did my business. I never thought about failure. I don't think about the no that I get. I mean, I always think I try and go into it positively. You know what I mean? Like, so I never thought that I would start a business and lose it. I never thought that I would start a business and not make money from it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always successful. So don't be afraid to get the no, because guess what? You already don't have it. You
That's
know,
right.
and you're not gonna know whether it's a yes or a no until you ask. So if you like the no, then just sit back and don't do anything, right? Because you already don't have it. But if you want something bad enough, you're going to ask it. And I'm telling you, as God is my witness, that if you're fearing something, that is the universe saying this is where you need to go, right? A
I
lot of
agree.
times people do let their fear hide them. I always say, I let my fear guide me. If I'm a scared, if I'm afraid of something, I that's where I know I need to be. You know what I mean? Like, so, like I'm back and forth. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Shut the hell up. I'm gonna do it. I just want to say I'm scared. Like, what if, well, like, but and that's my process, right? I know that I'm gonna ask. I know that I'm gonna do. I know I'm gonna, but I process it by, well, what it like, shut the fuck up, Danny. Like, well, what if it's a yes, or what if it's a no? You're not gonna die. It's not gonna kill you. And the way I look at things, I've lived through the worst thing that has ever happened in my whole entire life.
I know losing your mom. I know it.
And that is losing my mom, right?
I know it.
So if I can live through that and survive that, I can take a freaking no. You know what I mean? Like, I can take a no to a raise, or a no to a client, or a no to a sale, or a no to a date. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so the worst thing that I've ever lived through it still didn't kill me. You know what I mean? So, like, F everything else. I
Yeah.
got this.
And guys, Danny, we love when you're so vulnerable and you're so upfront and honest with us, unlike myself. It's like you said something that we discussed, everybody discussed, and once again, I'm just not a cliche guy, but like when you hear like the cliche, oh, life is so short, and you don't realize how short this life really is, man. Like think about like when they say dinosaurs were around 400 million years ago, or like the oldest thing that we have here in the United States is a freaking
It's
200
John
year old.
Koga.
Is it? Yeah. Oh, fuck you. There's a, oh, I didn't say that. Guys, she pulled that out of me. I don't like to talk like that. And I said, fruck, FRU. Anyway, that was good. She got me good. The oldest thing here in the States is a 200-year-old oak Yosemite tree in oak tree in Yosemite. Anyway, but the point we're trying to make is that life is too short. And you know what? Um, you're going to be either 5 years from now, you're going to be, well, me, I'll be 40. In 5 years from now, I'm going to be 40 regardless. So why not be in 40 saying I gave a risk? I tried this. If it failed, I go back to the drawing board and pick myself up and I get back in the race, as old Blue Eyes said. But like Danny said, if you don't ask, you're never going to have it anyway. So just go for it. Now, once again, don't make a knee jerk reaction or an emotional. You have to, if you're going to go for it and you're going to put risk versus reward, you have to do your homework on it. Don't just throw it against the wall. If it sticks, okay, great. You can't do that. You're going to go broke. You're going to drive yourself freaking crazy. All right. And people are going to lose trust in you, especially if part of your risk taking is that somebody's buying into you. Maybe you're involved with a company and you want to introduce products to your family and friend. The relationships that you form throughout your risk versus reward, especially if you're relying on people to make your business venture successful, your relationship, you have to be upfront and honest with them. All right. Don't make any guarantees. Don't write any checks that your ass can't cash. Okay. There's an old saying, don't write any checks that your ass can't cash. Okay. Don't make promises that you can't keep. Definitely, be motivated to let everybody know what you're excited to get yourself into. And once again, whether it's, X, Y, and Z or XY shirts, but it's a good feeling knowing that you were able to accomplish that risk versus, it's a great feeling, guys. I'm telling you, it's just it's a beautiful feeling inside and out when you can share that with somebody and you can change a life because of it. It's a great feeling and you're gonna love it. But don't sell yourself short and not do it because, oh my God, it's my kid's college fund, and yet you're going out every day drinking Starbucks and smoking 2 packs of cigarettes. Okay, don't play that game with yourself. You can convince yourself anything you want, but keep things in perspective. Sit down, write down what you need to evaluate, and then if your heart, in your heart of hearts and gut of guts, is like, I gotta do this, you gotta just go for it. And I'm
Well,
telling you, you're gonna feel great about it.
and like another thing too, John, if you don't ask, you're gonna sit back and stew and stew and
And
stew
wonder
and
and
stew and
wonder
wonder and think and wonder and think,
you
and
know
it's like, and it's gonna
that
play over
stress
in
will
your
kill
head.
you, man.
That's gonna cause stress and that's gonna cause anxiety. So I mean, yeah, if you ask for that raise or whatever, and you
Yeah,
get
whatever.
turned down or whatever, well, at least and now you can make a path. Do I need to find another job? Do what? Well,
Excellent.
why
Danny,
did I get
excellent
a no?
point. It's gonna
Yeah,
guys, I'm interrupting her, but I have to get this off my mind. It's gonna give you closure on many
right,
things that you would
right.
not have closed that door on.
Right, and
Excellent
think
point.
about another path that you need to go. Well, if I asked for the raise, well, maybe I didn't ask correctly, or maybe it wasn't the right time, or maybe I need to say, or maybe they said no. But if you work on this, and this, and better yourself in this avenue, then there's a job opening coming up that you can take. You know what I mean? And you wouldn't have known about that job avenue or that opening if you didn't ask for the raise right here. So now you're sitting back here stewing and wondering and anxiety and all this stuff. But at least if you do ask and you get a no, it's okay to say, well, why not? You know what I mean? And now
Yeah.
you have, if they say, well, just because, well, now you have a decision to make. Do you stay in that job or do you go find another job, or whatever? You know what I mean? Like you have another path to travel. But if you don't ask, you're sitting back doing nothing, you know what I mean? Like, and you're stuck. So you're not only in your comfort zone, you're not only letting your fear hide you, you're stuck someplace,
Mhm.
and you're anxiety driven, you're stress driven, and you're causing all kinds of oxidative stress and illnesses and dis-ease to your body, and other things are going to happen, right? So all of that, just because you didn't ask for a raise, just because
I
you didn't
know.
ask for a date, just because you didn't ask, screw
Excellent
that
point.
shit.
Yeah,
Go for it. Find
excellent.
another path then.
Excellent point, Danny. And
Yeah.
folks, like they say, the stress will kill you before the McDonald's will. Trust me, and it's true. It really is true. So risk versus reward is a topic that each and every one of us that are listening to this podcast eventually have to cross in life. There comes a time in your life where you gotta weigh out the risk versus the reward. All right, and just do it smartly. Don't do it quickly. Write some things down. Do your research. It is on whatever. If it's which is going to tie into my next topic. I'm going to give a little testimonial right now. So on a Sizzle product, about a month ago, once again, I had risk versus reward. Well, about a month ago, this tired old freaking hips of mine said, "Hey Koga, this is how it's going to end, brother. You're done. Your hips are shot. You're done. You better figure out your plan B, your option B, because you're not teaching Koga anymore. You got to go in and you got to get this hip surgery done." So I'm like, and it beat the shit out of me mentally. And my members that are up here in New York and Long Island would see me come limping into class. Now, mind you, as we say, medication, movement is the best medication for us. It held true, because while I kind of walked in all crotchety teaching my class, I did leave feeling much better, but I still wasn't nearly as close to where I wanted to be, as far as how my hips were killing me from all my years of doing what I do, and I'm like, and I'm sitting there and I'm pondering and I'm contemplating. I'm like, I start researching and Googling, hit the best hip doctors and what's the recovery time. And I know in me, I'm still going to teach while hold on, I got to hit the mute. I got to call. I'm saying to myself, love that button. I'm saying to myself, all right, what are you going to do? How are you going to approach this? And I said, wait a minute, let me weigh out my options. So I weighed out my options. I did my research on hip replacements. And I said, wait a minute, why am I not practicing when I'm preaching? Let me see what the alternative is to that. Let me look at the physical therapy side, the protocol that I can prescribe myself to try to exhaust whatever I can naturally and homeopathically speaking, before I
Right.
now start making phone calls for consultations and I'm talking to my cousins, and my uncle had hip replacements. I'm like trying to find the good in that. I said, whoa, 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 pump the brakes there, big guy. Let's do this. And what do? I said, wait a minute. Danny and myself been talking about Sizzle products. I'm like, you know what? It might be time for me to try Sizzle Renovator, which is our joint fuel. And I've heard nothing but amazing testimonials and results on our Sizzle product called Renovator. I said, son of a gun, I got to try this stuff. I said, you know what? I'm going to give Sizzle, I'm going to give one bottle, 30 days. If I have any signs of relief, I'm the original thought of going to get surgery. I'm done with it. I'm gonna put it on the shelf. So Jenny, just 2 days ago, I finished my bottle of Renovator. When I tell you, when I walk into class, people are saying, John, you're not limping, you're not walking all cockeyed. I go, guys, I got to tell you something. I took Renovator exactly how it was prescribed, 2 in the morning, 2 at night, natural joint fuel. It's got all the, turmeric, glucosamine, joint, Boswellia, all that good stuff. Don't want to get into the ingredients. Danny, 1 month later, I was at 90%. Let me be honest. I was at about 80% ready to go in to get a consultation on a hip replacement. Danny, hand to God, I'm at about 10% now that I think I need to get a hip replacement.
Awesome.
Sizzle Renovator is a godsend. If you have any joint problems, any kind of itises, internally speaking, we have the external topical analgesic that you guys love called Thermarol. Internally speaking, if you have any, I'm telling you guys, Danny just held it up. You have to reach out to us. We have to get you on Renovator. One bottle. Now, mind you, there are certain movements that I do that I'm like, oh shit, I still feel it, a little bit. I'm
Right.
talking, I got comfortable sleeps right now. I'm not restless. I'm not tossing and turning. I'm not Googling all my ailments that are attributed to hip replacements. And here I am. So shout out to Tom Maurer Sr., RIP Tom, up in the heavens above, and the Maurer family for providing me testimonial right now, testimonial Tuesday with Sizzle Renovator. Danny, one bottle, 1 month in,
Awesome.
I'm at 10% that I would go get a hip replacement surgery.
So
Awesome, right?
so you said 2 in the like in 2 a.m.?
No, I take two in the morning. All right. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Maybe
oh, oh, so it's you said 2 in the AM, which, I was hearing
oh
2
yeah,
AM, like, you
yeah.
got up
Two in
at
the
2
morning
AM?
and then
2
two
in
at
the
night.
morning, 2 in okay, gotcha,
And
gotcha.
I'm telling you,
I
and
was listening dyslexic.
and also I also pulled back on all the crap, all the Motrins and all that I was taking as well. I pulled back on any of those kind of pain relievers. And guys, I'm telling you, I'll give you a freaking empty bottle guarantee. If you do one bottle and you don't feel any better, I'm gonna reimburse you freaking money because you
Awesome,
need to get on Sizzle Renovator. And it's like $60, 50, but whatever the hell it is. Oh, so what do? People start asking me now, walking into Koga that have knees and hips and what. Well, this past week, literally 5, 6 bottles of Renovator ordered. So I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and go out on a limb.
awesome,
Don't even have to go out on a limb. If you need it, we have a product for you guys. All right. It's an amazing, amazing product, Danny, you know?
awesome,
So,
awesome.
anyway, I know you're obviously a big believer in all the products as well. So
Yeah.
that's going to be the product I wanted to talk about as far as the Renovator. What else was there, Danny, before we have to close this out? Um, Anything else? Anything else on topic that we needed to
I
discuss as
I
far
I I think we nailed
covered?
it all, man.
Yeah, we covered it. And just real fast, we don't like to ram the business side down your throat, but even one of the people that got involved with with our Sizzle network on the business side of it, she was completely shocked and blown away because as mentors and leaders, Danny K and myself, we're here to help you guys build your organization, to help teach you guys how to work the business side with the help from our mentor Ray Hutchinson. Shout out to Ray. We love you, buddy.
Yeah.
And so I'm building this organization and this downline now with Sylvia. I helped her put in. And Sylvia's doing amazing on her recovery from a fractured tibia. Just so for the record, doing everything she can. She's months ahead of time on recovery because of Sizzle products and because of her mindset. But one of the people in our downline was like, "Does anybody know where this $70 came from in my Sizzle wallet?" She's like, "I haven't put anybody in, but hold on, I got another cough coming up. Hold on." Love that button. And I said to her, well, that's because I put somebody in, underneath in your organization that spent 300 and something dollars. So she got a $70 bonus. And the point that I'm trying to make is that this is not a get rich quick scheme. This, if you work this program and you work the tools that Danny K and myself are going to give you, or if you guys are ready to take a little risk versus reward and jump into this health and wellness industry with us and jump into the business side of our organization, I'm telling you guys, we got something that's really special. It's not like all the other ones that are out there that somebody and big props to the people that they use the word recruit. I don't like to use the word recruit, but saw something in you and all of a sudden it fell on its face because next thing you know, you feel like you were violated. It cost you $1,000 to sign up, and next thing you know, that this is not bait and switch. We have something that's proven, that's viable, but most importantly is going to get you in the best shape of your life. And if you want to create a little residual income, which is guaranteed money every month, which can eventually lead you to getting rid of your day job down the road, months, years, whatever, you need to reach out to us because I want to welcome you guys with open arms to our KFIT Talk Network, Danny. So
Yep.
I'd like to say thank you guys as always for allowing me to come into your living rooms, into your ears for an hour or so once a week. Make sure you guys subscribe to this podcast if you haven't done so already. Our numbers are obviously up because of each and every one of you that listen. Go to your Spotify's, your Google Plays, your Anchors, and just hit subscribe and go back and listen to the four other seasons that we have. So I'm forever grateful. I want to thank you guys as always for allowing me to do what I do. And Danny, I'm looking forward to figuring out the day and time where I got to get down there to see you guys in Westminster and
Yeah,
do a
exactly.
little something special. So one Koga love. I'm out. Peace. As
Yeah.
always, thank you guys.
And we're looking forward to you coming down, and definitely, guys, it doesn't take much to go to your. I mean, you're already listening to podcasts. If you go to your Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that, and hit the subscribe button. It's on. We have it on YouTube. KFIT Talk on YouTube. So, and like John said, we've got 4 seasons of what do we got? 40, at least 40 episodes in
50,
within the
50
4
something.
seasons.
Actually, I think 50
50,
something.
like, come on, man. Like, come on, man. Where's John's little bebopper? Come
Come
on,
on,
man.
man.
Just push
Oh,
the subscribe button, and I mean, it's a shit ton of information, a plethora of information that we have got for you in all of these podcasts, and some fun stuff and all that stuff. So um go find it, seek it, and listen to it. KFIT Talk, baby. Stay in tune, stay informed, stay motivated. John, we want muscles.
Some strong man to hold on to. I want myself.
Danny, you got to hit a double bicep shot.
I
Come on.
did do it.
All right, another one. Thank you. I want those muscles right there, and so do you. All right, guys, please share this to your page. I want to see a couple of hundred shares on this one to your social media pages. Drop us some comments on some topics you might want to hear, and or questions and comments you might have. All right, folks, get yourself some muscles. Make a couple of bucks doing so. KFIT
Yeah,
Talk.
baby.
We're out.
Stay with me, you won't regret it. Take this love so deep to swim in. Come to me and let me love it.
I got to go train some people. I'm out. Dude.